What's up, Aries? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with a general tarot reading for the full moon coming up on the 25th of January. It will be at 12:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be at 5 degrees Leo, and it will be in the 10th mansion of the moon. I will put a picture up of the 10th mansion of the moon, and you can read about it. It's a good mansion. It's about healing, overcoming enemies. It's auspicious for drinking, doing drugs, anything like that, because you have to be careful about addiction. This moon is, because it's in Leo, well, right there, it's kind of about self-expression, so you got to kind of be careful. You might get overly attached to self-expression. For Aries ascendant, that moon will be in the 4th or 5th house. So, and it's also opposite the sun, conjunct Pluto, and Pluto can represent rage. So just be careful about anger. You know, it's opposite it, but it's in Aquarius, so it's most likely going to be anger around what's going on in the world. You know, it could be just like from our government or from like wars going on or anything in the world, because Aquarius kind of covers that a lot, like the whole society as a whole, and that's kind of what the 11th house is about too. It's also square Jupiter, which would suggest also being careful of overindulgence, because Jupiter in a square can represent, I mean, Jupiter represents expansion and like having a lot of stuff. So like when it's a square, it's not a good aspect, so it could be overindulgence specifically, so be careful of overindulgence. Could be like overspending of money, because he is in Taurus right now, and that is representative of the material things. You know, if it was 5th house, it'd be self-expression, so just be careful how you're expressing yourself right now, because touching Pluto can be anger. So if the sun is conjunct Pluto, that can and with the moon opposite both of them, you just got to be careful with your communication. If there's some kind of anger or something in you, it can come out, and it'll come out really bad if you're not careful. Especially also Mercury is touching Mars in a conjunction, so that's also communication, even though that's in Capricorn, so it should have some levity to it, or some kind of calming effect to it. But anyway, with that being said, let me get your spread, Aries. Looks like a celebration, or looks like a communication about a celebration. You may be getting like an offer to go to like a party or some kind of social event of some sort, but you're not going to want to do it. You're going to be closed off to it, looks like. Okay. We'll get an overall moon card here in just a second. So there could be some kind of arguing going on around you right now. I mean, like I said, the communication's there right now. The moon touching Pluto in an opposition. That's your inner world probably kind of being on fire. The feeling of power and righteousness, or the need of it, because you want something like change or brought forth into light. Okay. Your dreams need a practical plan. So if there is something that you're trying to accomplish, you need a practical plan, step by step. Understand how you're going to get what you need, and then when you get what you need, what steps you need to take to accomplish whatever it is that you're doing. So you got this. So either some of you have went to a social gathering recently, and it's very possible, being that we just got out of the holiday season, or there's some kind of invite coming, because it's, you know, it's crossed by a message. It could be a message that's telling you, hey, something's going on, so you can't go to whatever this social gathering is. Maybe it's like a concert, or who knows, party, anything. There's all kinds of different social situations. Maybe going out bowling with friends, who knows. Could be a message that's stopping you from doing that, or most likely it's a message or an invitation that is coming in. But crowning you is you being very closed off to this idea. It could be like, maybe you're in a situation right now where maybe you feel like you're in a rut or something, because there's something that you want, but for whatever reason you're not able to get to it. You're not able to make that move. That's why it's saying you need a practical plan. So you're closed off to something, and maybe friends or family or somebody's around you trying to be like, hey, maybe you should, you know, go out and have a good time, cut loose, so you'll feel better. You know, what's in front of you, feeling like a kid again. And it could be something like a communication about your child is why you can't go do whatever this social thing is. But most likely this is like, go have some fun. You know, behind you, it looks like you've been trying to create something, and I'm guessing that's what this is. whatever the plan that you have is, whatever this change you're trying to make in your life. And it'll be different for every Aries. So you've been working to try to create this change that you want, right? And that's behind you now. So I think it's saying like let the things work out, because you can't hold on too tight to something, because it's just going to give you anxiety, or it's going to make you anxious about it. You don't want to focus on the past too much, because that's going to make you, worry, or like it'll make you like attached to what you didn't get or what you haven't gotten yet, instead of like what's right in front of you. This is in your unconscious influence. There seems to be some kind of like argumentative type energy around you. You got 5 again. I mean, there's 5 on the bottom of the deck. This could be, and 5s also represent change, right? And change is good. I mean, change is inevitable. The only true thing that doesn't change is the fact that everything changes and everything's moving and interacting. So it looks like you need to, it's saying like, whatever this information that you have is, it may be stopping you from going and having a good time, because you're feeling like you're not wanting to see the good in things, or the what is good around you, or you feel like in some way that whatever these communications are, and it looks like it could be argumentative type. It shows you in the right here, right? It shows you holding the sword, so your position is probably the correct one. Or if you look at things as wrong and right, or black and white, you're on the side of right, or at least on the side of winning. Wrong or right is relative to the situation and the individual. Or you're completely closed off to whatever this invitation is, for whatever reason, right? It could be someone in your life like, hey, let's go do something, let's go have some fun. You're just like, nah, like I don't want to. Like I have too many responsibilities. I got to do this, I got to do that. So you're closed off to it. And if it's like your spouse or something, it could be that it's causing an argument, because maybe they want to go have some fun and do something together, and you're like, I'm really not into that right now. There's too many things that are important that we need to do, instead of just frivolous activities. But you right now, it shows the world. So this is a good card to have in the spot of you. So you have everything you need, whether you realize it or not, or at the very least, it's coming soon. Whatever you need, whatever you need's here. You just have to plan accordingly. Like you have everything you need, like everything is there, and and if you just plan it out and all the steps correctly and use everything in the right way. Like for example, if you're trying to save money, that's why you're not trying to go out and have a good time. You're like, look, I have everything I need. I just got to wait it out and save my money. And then once I get what I want, or accomplish whatever this goal is, then I can go and have a good time. And that's not unreasonable. But at the same time, I'm a big proponent of, unplugging every so often and trying to have a good time. Because otherwise you won't be happy. Being happy is what it's all about. So in your environment, it looks like a lot of ideas or confusion are floating around. Like, I think you have a lot of confusion about your plan. I think that there is a way that you can accomplish it. And I think the resources are there, and the motivation is there. The perseverance is there in you. It's just that instead of just getting to it and using what you have, you're like, well, maybe I should get this, or maybe I should get that. That's a confusion type energy, or you're worried about this or worried about that, or you're thinking that this won't work out in this way or the other. But I think it's going to be all right. I think if you really look at what you have and use what you have right here, right now, I think you're accomplished exactly what you need, because justice is on your side. Balance. This isn't the advice. This is saying balance things out. Look at the truth. Justice. Now, some of you could be involved in a court case in some way, or there could be some court situation that you're having to deal with. For some of you, but it's saying and it also is just saying take a balanced approach. You know what I mean? You have what you need. You're smart. You're capable. You're strong. Balance all that out. Know that, and then work. And then you have to make the final judgment. And if it's definitely could be something with court, because you have the justice card and then the outcome of the judgment. So there could definitely be, for some of you, definitely some kind of court situation. Maybe you got a speeding ticket. Maybe you got an offender bender. Anything like that. It could be maybe child support, something along those lines for some of you. And there's going to be some kind of final judgment made. Could be a lawsuit you have for whatever reason, maybe some kind of injury or wreck or something. But yeah, I mean, kind of want to see what that judgment card is all about. I generally don't be doing this just because I'm not trying to make the readings too long, but I'm kind of curious. Don't tell none of the other signs that I did this. I'm just kind of curious what that judgment card's all about, because it's not really telling us like what the judgment is. You know what I mean? Oop, right there. Oh, okay, it's good. That's good. Okay, so it's gonna be in your favor. Wherever this situation is, new beginning. It's gonna help you accomplish whatever your goal is. If you're trying to like start over, or you're trying to do something completely new. I mean, the full moon represents endings, right? Or the end of an accomplishment of something. So you may be about to accomplish whatever it is, and then the final judgment leads to this. It could be your own final judgment, your own decision. Could lead to a whole new emotional fountain within you. Could be new love. I don't really see anything suggest a new relationship, but could just be overflowing happiness in you, you know, for being able to finally accomplish or do what it is that you really want to do, or because you change your situation in some way, and you're like, oh man, I feel so much better about this. But either way, I say don't close yourself off to fun too much. And if it is a court situation, that can bring a lot of worry. And I can see that. And that might be why you're not wanting to go out and do anything or celebrate. Maybe you're like, you don't know how this court situation is going to go out. You don't know if it's going to cost you money, blah, blah, blah. So you're kind of worried, but it looks like it's going to be all good. It's going to work out in your favor really well. I mean, feel like a kid again. If it's a court situation with your child, it's gonna work out. It's gonna be all good. Or if you're a young Aries, you know, it's gonna work out in your favor. And if you're trying to make a change in some way, whatever that is, if it's like any kind of court situation, or if it's like you're just trying to bring balance and happiness to your specific life, and you have to make a final judgment to make these practical plans to move forward in whatever way, it's going to be all good because this card suggests it. Okay, that's all I have, Aries. Please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. Hopefully you do get something from reading and that you enjoy this, but you don't have to like and subscribe and comment if you don't want to, but it will help the algorithm and it will help the videos get shared, and it'll encourage me to make more content. I do intend on making a video very soon concerning the planets, each planet in astrology, and then I'm going to break it down by houses. I'm going to start off with Saturn, because Saturn is the one that we should all focus on first, because that's the area of our lives that's going to have the contention and probably the kind of restrictions and bad things that happen, even though it's really just lessons in our own karma. But anyway, that being said, thanks for being here, and I hope to see you here again, Aries.